It's another day in paradise in beautiful Las Vegas. How is everybody on this happy St. Patrick's Day? Yes, and I didn't wear green today. Well, I'm not Irish. So, anyway, that's how that story goes. Let me turn on my light here. Beautiful day, beautiful day. We have stability in our market, which is really important. It's after the middle of the month, and our median price has held strong at 425,000. And our sales are good. Our listings, we're making listings. And the only concern we have right now is the low inventory. We have 71 days of inventory. But if you recall, we were down in the below 50 days, below 30 days at one point. So I don't think we're going to get there. I think we're going to hover around 60, 70 days in the next couple months. It's going to get a little busier. And I was, as you know, I watch several different shows and get information from other places. And one of the fellas, Brian Lazine, I will give a big shout out to him because I have been listening to him way at the crack of dawn because he's over on the East Coast. I've been listening to him in the mornings talk about the banks and what's going on. And also he keeps us up to date on the interest rates. And he delves into the Redfin blogs and things and says that Vegas is one of the top two markets. I think Portland's number one, where our price concessions are number two in the nation. And he asked my opinion on that this morning. And I said, well, Brian, you know, we were the foreclosure capital of the world at one time, which meant people here in Vegas bought houses at very low prices. And so they have that equity to give price concessions. And that doesn't mean that, you know, we're in any kind of difficulty here at all. In fact, we're very strong with the equity that our homeowners have. Just so if you see that out there on Redfin or you hear other vloggers talk about it, just know the reason behind why we are number two when it comes to price concessions and price reductions is because of the equity that our home sellers have in their homes. So that being said, we are doing 89 sales a day right now. We listed 92 homes yesterday, yay. And of those 92 homes that we listed yesterday, 22 of them were in the $425,000 bracket and under, for a total of 1,179 homes at the median price or lower, which is 28% of our market, which is really good. Now, the one thing I will draw your attention to today is that the $1 million homes have increased to 2.89, almost 2.9, almost $3 million home sales per day. So I have been watching. If you've been watching me, you know that that number continues to increase since the first of the year. The number of sales for $1 million homes continues to increase. So we shall see what happens there. So people are still moving here from California, and we're going to do a news clip about that in just 1 second. Everything else is pretty much the same. We have investors, non-owner occupiers, I should say, still buying 20 homes a day this year. So that's 27% of our market. So hopefully you know how to speak investor. And we do our monthly 1031 class with Sheila from Arizona, who is a national speaker. She goes around the country teaching. It's a 3CE credit class on 1031 tax exchanges, and she presents it in such a way that you understand it from A to Z by the end of those 3 hours. And I wouldn't have thought that was possible, but her teaching skills and her presentation is so all together that you will learn something. Today we have risk reduction, and Monday we have advanced strategies taught by Jimmy Daig for listings and for buyers. It's for both. So that is Monday for agency. If you need agency, today's risk reduction, and 1031 is the following week, and I will post the date and time for that. Okay, so having said what I've said, I want to show you this. Let me put it up here like this. Here you go. At $425,000 median, if people bought a home 12 years ago, look, they still have all that equity that they have gained if they bought a median priced home. The median is where most of the people buy their homes. That's why it's median. So we're talking about a majority of home buyers back in 2011. So as time goes on, and we heard the other day from Redfin that the average homeowner now stays in their home 12 years. So if they bought their home in 2011 and it's 12 years later and they want to sell their home, they have quite a big equity gain there. So if you're farming, which I hope you are, this to last, then you will go into Remine. Excuse me, Mr. Albrand. I know we always forget to turn off our phones. Anyway, if my point was going to be that if you go into Remine and you go to the part where you can pick what year people purchased their home, that might be a really good spot to farm those neighborhoods, those people. And with constant now, I've heard Tom Ferry and Jason Pantana and even Brian Buffini, they all say, hey, 8 to a year to get a result from your efforts. So it's not going to happen overnight. But if you start today, by next year at this time, you may have listings and buyers, and you may have increased your business because you did it. It's not going to happen overnight. That's the difference. I know in Las Vegas, the mentality here is that the buyers come in, they buy houses, the sellers sell, and we have this constant churning, and we love that. However, that has slowed down, and people are staying in their homes longer. And we're going to talk about people moving here now. So now here's the seller perspective. Now let's hear the buyer perspective, because this is really good. I'm going to go over here, and I think hopefully, where's my phone? Here it is. I want to make sure I do this correctly. Okay, think, Ruthie, think. Go to Facebook. I want to go to my group here and make sure that you're seeing what I want you to see. I don't do this often, so. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to put myself down here. We're going to put her up here. I'm going to go over here, and hopefully this will work.
From visitors to businesses to new residents, the Valley keeps booming and more people are moving here. And despite higher mortgage rates and an economic slump, new data from UNLV shows more Californians are coming.
I call it Lash Vegas. We teach LED lash trainings. I wanted to grow by cultivating a really great lash community.
A dream to grow a business and make Vegas home. Sujin Yang, owner of training center Illumino, says as demand has grown for classes, staying in NorCal didn't make sense, or dollars and cents. So she, like so many others, moved and set up her school off Rainbow in West Tropicana. New data from UNLV shows despite higher rents in the Valley, higher mortgage rates, and a slumping economy, more people keep moving and more Californians keep moving.
What it costs per square footage in California versus what it costs per square footage here. Our taxes are more, forgivable. It's a lot lower here.
We're back to the pre-Great Recession scenario. A lot of their wealth tied up in equity. They sell their house, they move here, and they still have a lot of money left over.
Professor Stephen Miller of UNLV's Center for Business and Economic Research says even though the Valley's higher home prices are more expensive post-pandemic, the price is still right for Californians, especially those that want to retire. And home prices are falling in the Mountain West region. UNLV has been tracking moving data through the DMV and license surrenders. The number of people who moved dipped in 2020 but surged in 2021 and 2022. In that time frame, even more Californians moved. They are the vast majority of people who relocate here. Far behind Californians, there's folks from Texas, Florida, Washington, Arizona, Utah, as well as Hawaii, New York, and Illinois, rounding up the top 10 places to move from.
We're predicting continued growth. Eventually it'll slow down.
I'm not surprised more people are moving to Nevada.
Are you going to encourage more family and friends to move with you too?
Only the nice ones and the good drivers.
Well, Professor Miller.
All right, so I think that was quite awesome. And it's because people still are moving here. And I know 1 million people have moved to Florida, since the pandemic, or maybe even before the pandemic, the total. And they continue to move to Florida. But you have, the largest city in the country New York City is where many, many, many people move to Florida. At least, I used to live in Georgia, and that used to be the thing that all the New Yorkers were moving to Florida, and a lot of the other northeastern states do that as well. The weather can't be beat because the Northeast is snowy and cold and rainy and wet, but Florida is sunny and has the ocean and just beautiful homes, and it's a newer state, much like Nevada. So I'm not discouraged that Florida is getting a lot of the people that perhaps would have moved here, but that's okay. We'll take all the people we can get as long as we can handle the water, and keeping people moving in here is good for our economy. So let's move on today. I want to end with that part of our show. And I want to go a little bit into what news just came out. And that is that LinkedIn just made a big announcement. They're going to start implementing artificial intelligence to create content in their feeds. Now, this is content that users can see in the main feeds, content that users can comment on, content that users can engage with, content that will be designed to stir up conversations on the platform. And as a content creator, how does that make you feel? Where historically it's been user-generated content. You created the videos, you created the posts, and so on and so forth. You designed to get other people to engage. And now, and I'm not saying that what you've done is going to go away. You'll still be able to do it. But I'm asking the question, how do you feel about generative artificial intelligence technology starting to create content on platforms like LinkedIn? And as you know, the other ones will follow. So we are in a new dawn. It's a new era as artificial intelligence becomes more and more immersive in search and on social on the web. What do you think about that? Please comment. Please put some comments below. And if you are new to the group, welcome. If you are watching my video on YouTube, please subscribe. Please comment and ring that bell so that you get notifications every time I go live. It's 3 times a week, sometimes between 9 and 10 or 9 and 11, but for more consistency this year and trying to dig down and get deeper content is taking me some little bit more time sometimes. Again, thank you all. We love you. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for your loyalty. It's much appreciated. And just one more time, today is risk reduction, 10 to 1, and on Monday is the agency class, Advanced Strategies, which is really a good class, and we all need these advanced strategies. And Jimmy Dagg keeps up with relevant information so you don't get bored, and he's funny and he's entertaining as well. I love you all. Again, thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend and a happy St. Patrick's Day.